I feel like a lot of these people that do dawah or the sheikhs that gain a lot of knowledge and then have to constantly answer these questions, like you said, they forget the fundamentals. They forget that when talking to these people, the basics of even manners. With if
Oh
someone's
yeah.
extremely
Yep.
insincere, what you already know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to disengage from the conversation and
Yep.
come back when they're talking about something else. That's one of the first things I learned when I was doing calls with a mentor of mine, and so I stopped doing that. When people were being
Yep.
very insincere, they were saying he did this and this, and they're not willing to learn and listen. What's the point of us having this conversation, especially publicly? Let me just leave. And now there's a lot of sheikhs and imams and stuff that are just going right into conversations with clear people that don't ever want to accept the truth, no matter how much evidence is put in front of their face. And then they're not even diving into like the clear, the obvious problems of the Bible or Tawheed or the basics of Islam to give the message, but it's diving right into like some niche, fringe, weird, fake problem of Islam. And it's like, well, why are we doing this? Like, you have
Yeah.
all this knowledge, then follow the basics and don't one talk to these people and call to like the basics of Islam first, not the Islamic dilemma. Like if I hear Islamic dilemma, you've heard of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
One more time. It's
It's
just
not even a dilemma.
I
Yeah.
know, but
It's
that's
a
what I'm
fake
saying.
dilemma.
Like the more they
Yeah.
say it, then to the people that are on the outside and they're sincere and they're looking in and they're going, look at the Christians and Muslims just going at it again. Like they're just arguing over theology. And when I then from the outside, it looks like it's just two crazy people debating and it's nonsense. But me having accepted Islam, now even when I explain to people that are just agnostic or on the outside, and I explain them the message, the oneness of God, why there's so many different religions. He always sent one religion throughout time, but then the devil would trick them, and that would tamper and break off into Judaism, Christianity, blah, blah, blah. There's evidences for this book. It's perfectly preserved. I can explain that. They're like, well, if it's so obvious, why doesn't everyone accept it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that a lot with the way I give dawah. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is
Well,
that simple.
yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
It's things are far simpler than humans make them. And what I was going to mention is that, sometimes people, they play theological chess, and that's what a lot of debate has become.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing is that, you know what I realized the other day? I think the debaters between Muslims and Christians have realized they're actually on the same team of business. They are good for each other, right? They need each other for attention, for business, and that's where shaitan could ruin your intention, right? And now the debate, it's just a chess game, right? And in the end, what is more important, I'm not saying this is what they're doing. They're saying this is what shaitan wants to do. What's more important is that we came together and we got a lot of views together. And so you're actually business partners now. When you started off debating each other, you're actually business partners now. And the other point I was going to mention to you is that I've gone even beyond going from niche subject matter, debatable subject matter to like fundamentals. I'm even beyond that. And I think 90% of people in this era, they just want a friend. And the first one who's going to give them actual genuine attention, he'll follow them. That's where I'm at right now. And when I was studying and when I first got married, probably even until recently, one of the things my wife always tells me is like, don't forget, it's not about your point. It's how you made people feel, right? And that goes back to that being beyond even the rational to the emotional. There's 3 ways to convince somebody. You can make a point. You can make a logical point. You can show them that you know better and they just trust you because you have authority. Oh, I'm a PhD from Harvard in medicine, in cancer. So anything that comes out of this person's mouth, we're going to accept, regardless of whether we understand it or not. Mm-hmm. So that's authority. But the third one is how you made them feel. So I'm like, forget niche, forget even basics of what we're saying, the basic points. We need to go first to feelings first. And how did you make people feel in that gathering or in that exchange? And I think that's 10 times even more important than anything that you said. So part of our dawah, maybe you want to employ this, is that once a month, we're going to rent out a clubhouse. And people who are in the orbit of non-Muslims, friends with converts, brand new convert, in that dawah orbit, we just invite them. There's a couch. There's some chicken wings. There's some drinks with ice. and there's a football game on the screen, and no one's gonna bother anyone. It's just a place to unwind, and you invite them. That's it. Once they start feeling great around these people, at that point, you don't even need to give dawah. Once he's happy in your presence, you don't even give dawah. One day he's just going to get up and join the prayer line.
It's so
and it
true.
may be 2-3 years of that, but you have to play that game. It has to. That's literally how human beings work. And that's one of the things that our street dawah, I don't know if you heard of Mercy for Mankind.
I have, yeah.
Ayan Rahman. So he's local to us. He's like in the same community as us. So that's one of the things we're going to add to the retinue, because I believe personally, it's for long term, it's easier, it's truer, more genuine, and it'll be a proper rotisserie cook rather than a deep fry. You give dawah to the street to somebody, you just deep fried that chicken. Yeah, it's cooked. You can eat it, but it's not going to last long well in your system. It's just too quick. But if you rotisserie chicken and that person's been hanging out, he has friends now, he's got buddies and pals, he's seen what he needs to see, right? And when that person enters Islam, he's rooted already in a friend group, and he'll sprout better. So that's one of the things we're going to add to our rotation.
And you know what this whole conversation right now really is? It's about just like, it's almost like we're at the top of a hill pushing a snowball. And it's like, this is like that final push to get to the top. For once the momentum takes the snowball going down the hill, it'll kind of do the work itself. Like, the main problem comes down to the fact that the relatability still isn't there with the non-Muslims.
100%.
And that's what we're trying to do. So once it gets to the point where in basically everyone's friend group, there's one revert, or there's one white guy or Spanish guy who's Muslim, and then it's two. And, you know, every time you guys are hanging out, they're leaving for 5 minutes to pray. Just like you said, oh, now the third friend's going to join. Oh, now the fourth friend's going to join. And maybe it'll just be a month of them just praying with you, because they already feel that hole. We already know that anyone that's not Muslim, they do feel that hole inside of them that's missing from not having, being submitters to God. And then it's just going to keep snowballing. It's going to keep snowballing. Like, even me personally, I know that, let's say half of my hometown friend group accepted Islam, the rest would be so much more likely to. But because I'm the only one, and they especially see how much pushback that I got from loved ones, to them it's intimidating. But once that intimidation is gone, the whole message just makes too much sense, and how much more disciplined it's made me. And separate from that, even if I didn't like the stuff about Islam, it just makes too much sense. Even if I didn't want to be Muslim, the evidence is for it. Like, it's too logical to not submit and follow it.